Lots of exam questions will focus on the positive side of modern technology and potentially how it has helped to improve fair outcomes. We also need to be aware that there is a negative side to this, so this question looks at just that point. Here's the question. Identify 3 ways in which modern technology has limited or decreased the promotion of fair outcomes in sport, and there are 3 marks for this. So we're looking at how modern tech has limited or decreased the promotion of fair outcomes in sport. So the first point we want to say is that although it may seem that modern technology is available to all nations, all countries, all levels within the particular country, that isn't necessarily true. So the access to modern technology can be limited. If you think about our own football structure in the UK, the Premier League, obviously extremely wealthy, lots of money swirling around at the very, very top level, and therefore there is the access to the modern technology. However, if you go down the leagues and you go into the semi-pro, the amateur leagues, of course the technology isn't there because the finance isn't there to support it, and so the access is not there across a level playing field. The same could be said about some countries, wealthy countries, the US, China for example, have access to vast amount of modern technology to support and help their performers, whereas the less well-off countries don't have that access, and so there's that limited access to the modern tech, as we said. Now the second point then, as you can see, is about the concept of testing for performance enhancing drugs. On the one hand, we could argue, and we've seen in other videos, that the development of technology has enabled a much more sophisticated way of testing for performance enhancing drugs. However, the negative of that is that technology is moving so fast that the bad guys, if you like, are always one step ahead in terms of the way in which they are enabling drugs to be taken to support performance enhancement, which are not able to be detected. So our second point there, as you can see, is testing technology cannot always keep up with new drug development. And the third point is the idea that modern technology puts a considerable amount of pressure on officials because they're being exposed to and being scrutinized on every single decision that they make. Now that in itself can lead to a backlash if the decision is wrong, or if the official decides that then they're not going to make a particular call because they'll be criticized for it, and that they might make a safer choice simply because it makes life easier for them. And of course that can lead to unfair decisions or outcomes because they're not making the correct call. And another point on the pressure on officials is that if we think about this concept of stress performance anxiety, if you know that every single decision you make is going to be scrutinized, then that's going to have a detrimental effect potentially on you in terms of your anxiety, and therefore it may be again that they're not able or don't want to make those difficult calls because of the consequences that may come about it. So those are our 3 points that are to do with modern technology and how it has decreased the promotion of fair outcomes in sport.